Welcome back. Washington, D.C. has the White House, and Ohio has the governor's residence.
They call it a residence, huh?
They do.
It's only one tank trip away. Neil Zurker's here to tell us it's not a mansion, huh?
Well, it's really a mansion. They just like to call it a residence, so it seems more plebeian, I guess. I mean,
That way all the farmers don't get mad that the guy's living in a mansion.
That's right, and actually he isn't living there. So the whole thing is kind of, we'll explain that in today's piece as we visit the governor's residence in Columbus.
Perfect.
On a one-tank trip. It's about 145 miles from Cleveland to Columbus, Ohio. We're headed there to take a tour of the official residence of the Governor of Ohio. Actually, in the early 1900s, all Ohio governors were expected to find their own housing. It wasn't until 1920 that the state bought this mansion behind me at 1234 East Broad Street that wasn't too far from the State House and made that the official residence for the Governor of Ohio. But 30 years later, urban sprawl had started to crowd the downtown residence when in 1955 this beautiful home was offered as a gift to the state of Ohio. This is 358 North Parkview in the suburb of Bexley, and it is now served as the official residence of 10 Ohio governors. Mary Ellen Mayrose, the curator of the residence, is our guide for a tour of the house.
The house is about 16,700 square feet. There are 25 rooms, 12 bathrooms, 6 working fireplaces. So it's a good-sized house.
Now, when people come to visit and tour the house, they don't see everything, obviously. What do they see?
Right. The first floor, the public rooms, are available for visitors to tour.
Certainly one of the most beautiful things here at the official residence are the gardens. The gardens here represent many areas of Ohio, and the volunteer in charge is Guy Denny.
Well, you know, we have about 4 acres here, and the whole idea was actually a legacy of Hope Taft. Her idea was that when Dagmar Celeste opened the residence to show people the cultural history of Ohio, she said, you know, we should use the property to show people about the natural history of Ohio. And so that was the concept that she developed. The other idea was to show people how we can use native species to incorporate those into our landscape.
Give me an example.
Well, for example, the wisteria on the pergola that's in the backyard here, all the time that the Celeste lived here, it never bloomed. They had Asiatic. So when Hope Taft came in, she tore out all the non-native stuff, put in the native wisteria, and it's bloomed every year since.
Really?
And the nice thing about that is that when you have native plants, they bring in the native animals, the insects primarily, the butterflies, the moths, which in turn provide food for dragonflies and birds. So you really increase the biodiversity of the landscape.
Tours of the residence and heritage gardens are available on Tuesdays by reservation. They are not led by the First Lady, who in this case has chosen not to live in the official residence.
The Kasichs already had a home in central Ohio where they chose to remain, but the house is used a lot for official entertaining, meetings, receptions, dinners.
For many years, the residence was mostly staffed by trustees from the state prison, a fact that made the daughter of a famous visitor very nervous.
Ann Landers apparently was a friend of Governor DeSalle and his family, and she and her daughter came and they spent the weekend, and her daughter, Margot Howard, wrote in a biography of her mother that she was very, very nervous about the inmates being here at the house where she was staying.
I understand she didn't sleep very well that night.
Yeah, that was the impression I got.
The present governor has stopped the practice of using inmates at the residence. There's now a regular staff that is employed. A home fit for a governor, and you can see it on a one-tank trip. Remember, AAA will help you find the way. I'm Neil Zurker. Now, you know the interesting things about this, when that house was given to the state a long time ago, they told them that governors had to live there for at least 25 years before they could sell it. So they've matched that now, and the present governor chose not to live there. He doesn't want to live there. Although it's still open, we still staff it. They have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, and the state troopers watching it and everything. It is used. The First Lady has her office there, and it's also used for meetings and conventions and things when people come to town and meetings like that.
So people can drive down there and they can tour those gardens.
Well, you can tour the house on Tuesdays, but you have to have a reservation first. There's certain requirements you need to do. And if you don't get down, there's a wonderful book that Mary Ellen Mayrose, that we just interviewed, wrote. It's called The Tour, Our First Family Home. And it shows all the house. Ansel Adams, I believe, or not Adams, the photographer from Ohio here.
Oh, I don't know.
Great one. Anyway, he shot the pictures, and it's
That's
really
a beautiful
nice.
picture
Beautiful
there on the
picture
cover.
there. And the house is beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous.
So if you're looking to get that reservation, it's probably a good idea to call AAA, and they can hook you up and tell you how to do
AAA
that.
can do it, or you can call or go online and just do the governor's residence, and it'll tell you how to get there and how to get a reservation on a Tuesday to go see it. You have to have a group. You can't just wander in yourself.
So I'm driving down to Columbus to see this, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Have you ever driven to Columbus?
I have from Cleveland. Yes, I have.
Yeah. So you get halfway down. You want to stop and have lunch halfway down. Where should I go?
Halfway down.
Yeah, where are
Columbus.
you like, Neil?
I think you're in Mount Gilead someplace.
Yeah?
I'm not real sure where I'd eat in Mount Gilead. I'm sure there's some good restaurants there, really and truly, but I've never stopped at one of those. I usually end up stopping at like one of the Amish places, or that caboose on the hill.
Oh, yeah.
Down at Belleville.
Yeah, it's up on the.
Yeah, we did a story on it last year. And if you like just plain food, big hot dogs, good milkshakes, and that kind of thing, that's the place to go.
Where's that big bologna sandwich that you saw?
Oh, that's Waldo, Ohio. That's over in Waldo near Marion, Ohio, just
so
south
that's-
of Marion. It's called the G&W Tavern down there.
Excellent.
Yeah,
You're making me hungry.
This guy will make you hungry, that's for sure.